I have my notes here on things that I'm going to discuss. That might be kind of hard to get. Okay, so we've been in Chiang Mai for about 7 days, but actually this isn't the first time that we've been to Chiang Mai. We actually came here right after we finished in Ayutthaya. We came to Chiang Mai for 5 days, but we didn't film anything. I have my notes here on things that I'm going to discuss. It's going to be a little bit of a different format. I'm going to kind of talk through what we've done, where we've been, what's going on, what's in the future, what you can look forward to, yada, yada, yada. We are here in Chiang Mai. This is the second time that we've been back. Right after we finished with Ayutthaya, we took a train up here to Chiang Mai. It was about 10 hours or so. I think it was closer to 11 hours. We checked in to the Wealth Boutique Hotel, which is in the Old Town City Center, which I highly recommend. It was a very nice hotel overall, very centrally located, very nice staff. The whole thing was really wonderful. We stayed there for 5 days, and I think we had a little bit of a culture shock, just change in us, because we spent 2 weeks in Bangkok, which most people go to Bangkok and then they go and then they leave. They're gone. 3 days, that's all you need. You kind of do a few, 2 or 3 like really touristy things, Icon Siam, the markets, the Grand Palace, and then you leave. We got to Bangkok. We needed like 3 to 4 days to basically adjust, to get acclimated to the time change, to get used to being in this massive city. Being in Asia for the first time, there was a lot of getting used to there. Then we leave and we come up here. Now we're in the north of Thailand. The north is definitely more like expat and more people working here, like foreigners working here. So when we first got here, it was a lot of people who were eating at cafes and like small restaurants, and you have the elephant tours, and people come here for cooking classes. So we partaked in all of that, the cooking class, which I actually really enjoyed. We learned a lot of amazing dishes in that. Pad Thai, khao soi, chicken coconut curry, like some really amazing dishes we learned in the cooking class. I did some journaling. I did some self-reflection a little bit. It's like the biggest city in the north, but it's a smaller city than Bangkok. So it made me think a lot. We thought about a lot of things when we first came here. So we didn't really film. It was more of a introspective time. Chiang Mai's a lot. Like you get up, like you don't get going until about 10 maybe. You are gonna be kind of going to a cafe. Maybe you'll, like in the heat of the day, you're gonna be relaxing. Then you're gonna be when it gets to around 4 or 5 o'clock, you'll go out. You can get some dinner. So there's stuff like that, right? So that was kind of like the speed. It was a lot slower of just a general pace than we were in Bangkok. Like Bangkok, we were like all day out walking 20,000 miles a day, or 20,000 steps, 20,000 steps a day. So it was a lot faster. Here we had to like adjust to a little bit of a slower lifestyle. So we left. We went to Pai, which if you've seen my last video, you will have seen the content from Pai. We stayed at Pai Village. That was a beautiful place. Amazing breakfast. You stay in like these little bungalows. It was like awesome. First time ever doing that. I loved it. It was a good experience. I think we were there 3 nights. I want to speak a little bit on a couple things that happened there that I didn't include in that video. One was the minivans, and 2 is the motorbikes. So I'm going to talk about the modes of transportation for a second here. We took a minivan from Chiang Mai to Pai, and then a minivan from Pai back to Chiang Mai. It cost $6 per person, which, looking back on that now, I'm like, wow, that was really cheap. The minivan experience going up was turny, like they say, but not horrible. We took Dramamine. We fell asleep for the most part, and then woke up with like the last 15 to 20 minutes talking to some people on the bus. Everything was fine. We ended up being okay. But the minivan back, first off, we were seated in the back, which if you're in the back of any bus, I mean, you're going to have a little bit of that fishtail. But two, they put the luggage and everything on the top of the van. So you're fishtailing on these curves like this, but then also the bus is like, the top of the bus is going like this. So you're kind of like, going like this on these turny, curvy roads. Also, they have these beeping, I think they're speed meters, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. And it's like beep, 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 beep. It goes off, I think when they get too fast of a speed on your way back from somewhere. So like we were going back to Chiang Mai. Much faster speeds. I took 2 Dramamines. It didn't help at all. Couldn't fall asleep. I tried. I was like gripping onto the seat in front of me, like holding on for dear life, like please help me. Didn't help. We made our pit stop at like a market that they stop at for like 10 minutes. I knew I was going to throw up. Like, it was inevitable. I knew it was going to happen. And I was like panicking, because I was like, I'm in this new country. Like, I don't know where to do that. Like, I didn't want to do it in the plants. I needed to find a trash can. I couldn't do it on the sidewalk. There's a lot of people around because this is a very popular like bus route. So I went to the trash cans. Thankfully, I was fine afterwards. I felt like a sense of relief. But like, honestly, I was humiliated. Like, I was humiliated and I was nauseous and feeling sick still. I took the Dramamine, it didn't help. I then threw up in the trash can at the stop. I don't think anybody saw me because I was pretty discreet about it, but still. And then I get back on the bus. There was an empty seat, so I sat a row forward. So instead of being in the 5th in the back, I sat in the 4th seat. And that helped a little bit, but I was still like so ready to be off. Once we got back to Chiang Mai, I felt like I was in a warp, like just a nauseated, weird feeling warp. Long story short, do I recommend the minivans? No, I don't. I think that if you want to go to Pai from Chiang Mai, you should spend the extra money and get a private car to take you there. Now, the private cars, I kind of looked at what the rates would be for that. It's going to be like 2,500 baht. So if like I do the math for that, like 2,500, you're looking at like 70, 75 plus dollars to get you up there. And then probably another 75 back. Is that expensive? Yes, that's expensive. However, the minivans, they have a history, unfortunately, of being not the safest. And also, a private car is going to go slower. They're going to be a little more relaxed. You could rent a car too. That's another option that you could do. You could rent a car or you could take a motorbike if you have experience with that. But I know it's a lot cheaper, but I would just avoid the minivans if you can. 2, the motorbikes. Just in Southeast Asia in general, like motorbikes are part of the culture. It's very, very cool and I love it. But like for me, I'm from America, so I don't like motorbikes are not a big part of the culture. Like you have people that ride bikes, but they're not biking is not something that everybody is doing. We were thinking when we were in Pai that we would go and get a motorbike. We went to either 2 or 3 places to try to rent a motorbike, and it was everywhere experienced only. You can only get a motorbike if you have experience. You're from America, that's different than a motorbike. Like cars aren't the same. At first, I was very like I really want a motorbike. Why are they telling me I can't get a motorbike? Like I have car experience. I've driven like high speeds on the highway. Like I have this experience. It wasn't until I took like a day or 2 to process that I was like, you know what, that's probably in the best interest for me, best interest for Dylan. So unless you have a motorcycle license, you've driven a motorbike in Southeast Asia, or you feel comfortable doing so, I would not recommend getting a motorbike because a lot of fatalities and accidents are caused by motorbikes. So remember, like, safety first. Okay, so we get back from Pai, right? Minivan, almost, passed out. Okay, now we get back to Chiang Mai. We stayed in Chiang Mai for one day because I wanted to book an elephant sanctuary. Now, this is a whole thing in itself. I'm not going to touch too much on it, but I just want to say that you want to book, if you want to go to an elephant sanctuary, you want to book it ahead of time because they do book out. And also, the elephant sanctuary for me, I wanted to pick a really good one. So I was very particular about the one that I was choosing. The one that I chose to go to is the Elephant Nature Park, or ENP. This is the one that I would recommend you go to. The other ones, just because a lot of them now are promoting no riding the elephants, but they're still doing things like feeding them and bathing with them, which the Elephant Nature Park doesn't do. You're strictly just observing them live their life, and when they come towards you, you're stepping away or getting out of the way. But I highly recommend that you visit the ENP because they're one of the oldest. They are kind of like they pave the way for a lot of the other sanctuaries, and they don't allow any touching, they don't allow any bathing, they don't allow feeding. You're just going to each of the different families or herds and seeing them. Now they do have caretakers, which you'll see in some of the footage. You'll see people around them. And my interpretation on that is that they have these caretakers because a lot of the elephants were already in things like shows, or were working, or were being used for rides. They are comfortable around humans and they rely on that human interaction at this point. But I think generally speaking, elephants are wild animals. So if they are born in the wild, they're not going to be friendly with the human race or the human population. But in this situation, because they have experienced being domesticated to some level, they have these caretakers that are making sure that they are being well taken care of and rehabilitated. So that's reassuring in that way. Elephant sanctuary, whole day event. You get fed. You get a lunch, which is really amazing, and you have a tour guide.
About 4 or 5 years old. Her name Lek Lek. For the Lek Lek, she want to follow the tourists. Maybe they run to the tourists. Be aware.
And that was a overall very good experience. I recommend. Pricey, because you're supporting this practice of rehabilitating and saving elephants that are being used in inhumane ways. So it's pricey, but well worth your time if you want to learn more about what goes on, their history, their past, and what they're doing here in Thailand to prevent poaching of the elephants. Okay, moving on. We were in Chiang Mai. We were there for the elephant sanctuary 2 nights. Then we were able to get on a bus and we were going to Chiang Mai. This was not a minivan. This was a bus. So the bus was better. I recommend that if you're going to do a bus, you sit closer to the front because it's less nauseating. Again, if that's something that's an issue for you. We get on this bus to Chiang Mai and we spent, again, 2 nights there in Chiang Mai. I went to Chiang Mai just for the sole purpose of a couple places. I think that's why everyone goes to Chiang Mai because they want to just go to these 2 places. So we went to the Blue Temple and we went to the White Temple. Do I recommend visiting Chiang Mai? If learning about artists and art and seeing the temples in an artistic way is something that is cool to you, then yes. The city, I would say there was a couple cool highlights, but I would say for the most part, go to Chiang Mai to see the temples and experience local artists, because a lot of local artists live in Chiang Mai. The White Temple is built by an artist. His name is, frick, I don't know if I'm going to say this correctly, but it's Shalom Chai Kosit Pipat. Okay? Name's very hard, but he is the artist behind the White Temple, as well as a lot of art. Like, I mean, he's been doing art since he was 14 years old. Amazing stuff. Like, the museum of his art that we went to after the White Temple almost amazed me more than the White Temple itself, which is kind of funny, but like a beautiful artist, amazing creations. The White Temple is extremely artistic, and it gives you like a different perspective on the Thai culture from like an artist's perspective. So I highly, highly, highly recommend the White Temple for that reason. Now, like, if you want to get that like Instagram photo like shot, that might be kind of hard to get.
Stop, please. Keep walking, please. Rapido.
Because there's a lot of people that visit there, and I didn't rent a car, I didn't rent a motorbike, so I was relying on public transportation or Grabs. Can't rely they're gonna get there, you know, before 7 o'clock when like no one's gonna be there. So go there more for the like cultural history, artists, supporting the local artist, like enjoying the beauty of that temple rather than getting that shot. Like, don't go there for that shot. Go there to learn about that artist, because he's done so much art. It's unbelievable. So I really, really enjoyed the White Temple for that reason. The Blue Temple, also very interesting, in a different way. Blue Temple's not as developed as the White Temple, so the Blue Temple is smaller, all blue, of course. But what's interesting about the Blue Temple is that it's fairly new, and it was built so that the people of that area in Chiang Mai had a temple, because before then they didn't have anything to go to. They had to go to other temples. So they built one for the people that lived there so that they could have a place for themselves. Also, interestingly enough, like there's a lot of tiger, dragon style representation there. A lot of that has to do with the fact that a lot of tigers lived on that land where the temple is prior to it being built. So that was interesting. Like, that provided another level of, I guess, like information that I would have not known, because everything that you see on like Instagram or online is just a picture of the Blue Temple. Like, oh, it's so pretty, it's painted blue. I like to kind of see it like, why is it blue? Why is there all these like animal representations in this? Why? What was the point of this one being built, right? Like, why is this one here? So that one's really, I highly recommend those two temples. Also, another like amazingly cool thing, the clock tower monument. At 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, the clock tower monument goes off, and it does like a nice like light show and sound display. So I really enjoyed that. Like, a small city like Chiang Mai, you know, having that like light clock tower display, very neat. So that was also, I liked. So overall, I'd recommend Chiang Mai. I would recommend. I wouldn't do like a dedicated thing on Chiang Mai just because it's a small city and there's only a few like major things to touch on. But like, I think 2 days was a good enough amount of time. Of course, like, I'm trying to create content and like do this, so I felt like I was a little rushed. But if you're not doing what I'm doing, 2 days is going to be enough time for you in Chiang Mai. Then we came back from Chiang Rai. We were on the bus. God, I don't know. I think we might have had PTSD or something, because we got sick. Like, coming back into Chiang Mai again. Like, we were on a bus this time. We weren't even on a minivan, but we got like a little nauseous. Take it easy. Like, give yourself like a day or so, you know? Because for me, I felt nauseated a couple days, like, into being back in Chiang Mai. Since we've been here, you know, we spent like, I think it was like 6 or 7 days here in Chiang Mai. love this city, honestly. Like, it's different than other cities in Thailand, but I love this city because it's kind of making me feel like relaxed. Like I'm filming this type of content for this video because I felt very relaxed here and like not like in the action. I'm not like filming in the action. I've been just more taking it in and like enjoying walking around the city. We visited a couple noteworthy temples. There's so many temples here that I recommend. Wat Prasing Waramahawian. We went there at night, and that was honestly beautiful at night. Like, don't not go to temples at night. If some of them are open, there's hardly anybody there when it's later at night. The lights that they put, like they shine onto the temples, absolutely beautiful. So I highly recommend visiting the temples at night. It's beautiful, really, really beautiful. One here that's worth noting too is the Silver Temple. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but the Silver Temple is also like, it has a lot of ties to the local people of that area. One thing to keep note of that I didn't know before visiting, and I wasn't like overly mad at it, but it's something that is good to know, is that women can go into the grounds of the temple, but they're not allowed to enter inside of the temple. Which, I mean... Hi, this is Editing Taylor, real quick. I just want to talk a little bit about the women not being able to enter into Wat Sri Sufan, or the Silver Temple. Okay, there's a few things that I've found out online, although, I mean, it's not, overly clear. One thing is that I think the main reason is that there's actually holy relics that are buried underneath the Silver Temple. And so the Lana culture, the traditional Lana culture, believes that if women enter that temple, that those holy relics could be destroyed or disturbed. So that's part of the reason why women aren't allowed in. And also the Silver Temple is an ordination hall, which is used by monks, and thus women being allowed inside could cause a monk to unintentionally violate any monastic vows that they have to perform. So just a couple of reasons. That's just some history for you, in case you're interested in knowing that. Okay, bye. I'm a woman, so I'm going to have my own opinion on that, right? But like, I respect it because that's their culture and that's their temple, and they have a right to say what they want to say and do what they want to do. I will say though, it costs 50 baht per person to enter, whether you can go in or not. So like I'm a woman, so I couldn't go inside of the Silver Temple. But I still cost 50 baht. Dylan still cost 50 baht, but he could go in the temple. So that kind of felt a little odd to me. Like, if I can't go in, why am I being charged the same price as somebody who can? Nonetheless, very interesting. The pictures we got from there were beautiful. It's a little walk. It's outside the old town, and then it's right there. It's pretty close, but nonetheless, interesting to learn about the culture. That's what I find fascinating, is learning about why things are in place, what the reasoning behind that is, and just respecting it, for what it is, because I'm not going to change anything. I just want to learn. This hotel here is the Hotel Clay, Chiang Mai, newer hotel. Really like it. Doesn't have things like, a fitness gym or a pool or anything like that, if that's a priority to you. Two I'd recommend, the Wealth Boutique, and then this hotel, Hotel Clay. So every year, Chiang Mai hosts, I think this was their 47th this year. They host a flower festival I think on the weekend. It fell on the weekend this day. This year it was on the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th of February, and we happened to be here for that, so we went. It's free to go in. They have food vendors and everything all around, so you could get food and hang out. It's located in the Nong Buak Had Public Park, so that's in the southwest corner of Old Town here in Chiang Mai. I wouldn't say make your whole, don't plan your trip around attending this flower festival, but if you happen to be here during it, it's very beautiful. They turned the whole park into just bouquets of flowers everywhere. It was really beautiful. They have like floats, like flower floats, and it's a festival for local people as well as tourists if they happen to be there. I liked it because it felt like part of their community. Like it felt like I was engaging in something that the community holds, whether or not there's tourists or not. Like it didn't feel like it was geared just towards something that I would go to as a tourist. It felt like this is a really nice thing that they do yearly. So that was really, really beautiful. We got some amazing shots again of being in the flower festival. We spent a lot of time there. At night, they do like a light show. They did cultural performances. So it was just, overall, it was just very, very nice. Enjoyed our time there. So I'm on to my last segment here. And that's kind of like what's next, I guess. Like where am I going next? Sure. But like also what's kind of next in terms of like content and where we see ourselves kind of going from here. So first off, we posted our first video, which was Bangkok, and that one did really well. I think Bangkok just like is a big city. Like a lot of people are interested in it. So I think that was part of the reason why it did really well, is because there's a lot of searching around the word Bangkok. But nonetheless, I mean, that was like really amazing to see like, hey, okay, yeah, we like, this is cool. Like it's got some traction. We did a video on Ayutthaya and Pai, which also did very, very well for only being a second video. And now we are about to post this, which will be the third. Thank you for that support and like liking the videos that we're putting out. I have always wanted to do YouTube and documenting my life and my traveling. And so it feels good to have finally put something out there, and to have it be well received is pretty cool. A little bit kind of just, I guess, about myself, since I kind of just dove right into documenting my travels in my way. I've traveled quite a bit now to feel comfortable in pursuing something like this. I spent over 3 months traveling in and around Europe, and then coming back into the East Coast and traveling around the United States. I've done 4 road trips across the US West Coast, and now I'm here currently in Southeast Asia, in Thailand, of course, and going to be experiencing, South Asian and Asian culture as well. So experiencing that different continent, essentially, and learning this culture. No better time than now to start documenting this trip and the travels. And so that's kind of how this channel has blossomed, is I feel I have enough experience to get the ball rolling and to get started. New videos. So we're going to continue to stay kind of with our same content. I'm open to any sort of content that people are willing to watch. If you're interested in what I carry in my bag, let me know. If you're liking these documentary style videos, we're still growing and learning from those and taking feedback. If that's something that you're interested in, let me know about that too. We can continue keeping that up. And then also, like, anything that you would want to see or hear or have me discuss, please let me know so I can keep growing and getting better and better at this every day. Even if that means like shorter content, a couple times a week, if that's something you'd be interested in, let me know. Also, I'm going to be rolling out a newsletter, a travel newsletter. It is going to be all about my weekly travel updates. So in an email, you would receive things like, what is working for me? What are my successes and challenges? Where have I been? What would I recommend you do? What would I not recommend you do? Also, any new videos or blog posts or anything like that I'm rolling out, those will come right to you in one concise email. I've covered all of the basics. If I haven't, I will do a video from my other hotel. And that's okay. Now we're off to Krabi.